the deal. Whatever you think you taught them at home, you can 100% believe that their peers at school have way more power than you do as a parent.
Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video, it is a very interesting video as always, and I love having this conversation. Okay, so this video is a video of a sister who came online to talk about kids and between the age of 9 and 12 and some of the things that is going on with these kids. She wanted to talk about how their classmates have more influence towards them than you do, so parents should be more careful. She wanted to talk about some of the chats she saw in her daughter's phone or her daughter's device, and how these kids are full-blown and having full conversation and all that. Anyway, some of the things she was saying, I'm kind of like, okay, and this has struck a bigger conversation of people coming to talk about how far can you expose a child, and what are the measures to expose a child, what to do, how to go about it, and all that. And I personally, I find this conversation very, very interesting, because I feel like a lot of kids have been exposed to a lot of things beyond their age, and I feel like that also kind of affect their development and how they see life. Anyway, guys, let's go hear what the sister have to say, our own thoughts on this, and then I'll come back and share my own thoughts. But I also want to know your take on what the sister said down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, okay? So go ahead and subscribe. With that all said, guys, let's go check out this video.
Here's the deal. Whatever you think you taught them at home, you can 100% believe that their peers at school have way more power than you do as a parent. Okay. Them kids at school have way more influence over your child than you do as a parent. First, let me start by saying that I am one of those parents that are heavily and deeply involved in my kids' lives. Like, I'm nosy as hell. That's how I find out all the time, because you're not just going to be living your life around here as a kid and think I'm not going to be all up in. Newsflash, I'm about to be. So if you are a parent and you have a child between the ages of 9 years old and 12 years old, I'm talking about they're in that transition period for where they're going to be coming out of elementary school soon and transitioning into being a middle schooler, you need to listen to everything that I'm about to say in this video. And obviously this applies to people who have older children as well, and even younger children. It depends on your level of exposure for your children, because, you know, I can't fathom for the life of me why people overexpose their kids unnecessarily. But listen, this is what I'm dealing with now by the way of other people's children. I have been that mother that has been I'm not a very strict mother, but I am a mother that is going to talk to my children, give them the real deal, prepare them, take preventative measures. I'm going to be heavily involved. I'm going to make sure that my kids have the tools and the knowledge to think for themselves outside of circumstances. But at the end of the day, they're still children, so they get heavily influenced very easily. The amount of children in this tablet that just have conversations is so sad. And I'm at a space to where I want to just pick up the phone and be like, put your damn mama on the phone. But you know, what's sadder about this entire thing is you don't even know what kind of response a parent is going to give you, because some of them are so trifling that they'll catch an attitude with you because you're trying to call them and tell them something about their child. All I'm going to say, if your child got one of these here, a tablet, a phone, a computer, an iCloud address for somebody to call or text, and you not doing a deep dive, in those conversations, you self up and them kids up. Because when I tell you my daughter ain't had this here almost a month, she not getting it back. Because the conversations that these kids were having in this tablet with my child, I was blown the way. She just turned 11 years old. And some of these kids in this chat, 9 and 10 years old. It's about 15 to 20 kids that's been calling her and messaging her. Because other people's kids are overexposed to shit way beyond their age group, overexposed to conversations, sitting up listening to their parents gossip, sitting up listening to their parents talk about shit, sitting up listening to their parents music and all kind of shit. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, okay, well, they shouldn't be having a phone or a tablet anyway at 11 years old. Let me tell you something. These kids are heavily involved in organizations and activities at their school that requires them to have some mode of communication with me. And so they know that. Okay, track practice, dance practice, all this kind of stuff, the shit that go on with these kids. I need to be able to get in contact with my children, and they know that they can talk on this tablet, and they go to their school and give their information out to their friends, unbeknownst to me. Oh, I'm not done. Not by a long shot. These social media pages, they not for kids. They not for kids at all. In this tablet, I've been reading shit for 2 weeks. I had to put the tablet down because my nerves were so bad, it was pissing me off. How many kids on here in these group chats talking about, oh, my mama said I can't have social media, but I got a TikTok page anyway. Screenshots their pages, send them in a group chat because they dumb as hell, because kids dumb as hell. Send them in a group chat and be like, oh, follow me. Then you go to their pages. They lying about their ages. These are 9, 10, and 11-year-old kids. Why your page say you 23? Little boy? I want y'all to understand something. Even if your child have a TikTok account for fun, it ain't about who they're following or who's following them. It ain't about if somebody can contact them or not. It's about media consumption. How many times do you get on your TikTok account and everything and anything comes across your For You page? Imagine as an adult how easily influenced we are on TikTok, buying from the TikTok shop and getting this and trying this and trying that and doing this hack and do. We are easily influenced as adults on this app. Imagine the small amount of effort it takes to influence your child, no matter how good of a parent you are, no matter how well you've raised them. As an adult, you can't even hold back control sometime and be like, you know what? I don't need to buy that. That ain't for me. As an adult, you fall victim to influence. What makes you think your child is not about to? Consumption is more important than who they're following or or who's following them. Right. And let me get off this app. If your child got one of these here, a tablet, a phone, a computer,
all of the issues that we have with children on social media and on their cell phones comes down to these 4 reasons. I guarantee you, I stand by this. I will die on this hill. I've been in education for 15 years. For 6 of those, I was an administrator, and it always came down to these reasons. The child's access was unlimited, unmonitored, unfiltered, or they were underdeveloped for the usage that they had access to. Every single time. Unlimited access goes from when they are younger all the way to when they are older. We know for a fact that little kids should not have unlimited access, but we think that that goes away when they get in middle school. But your child is falling asleep in class, cannot focus, cannot tap out, cannot tap in because they've been on their phone all night. They have no self-control when it comes to their device because they've never been made to. They cannot have unlimited access to technology, period. I cannot stress enough how much unmonitored access goes into the issues we have at school. If your child has a cell phone, you need to know what's going on in their phone. I cannot tell you how many things are going on in these group chats. Baby, it's wild, wild west in there. And you don't know. So, one, it's about exposure. You don't know what other kids are exposed to, thereby exposing your child. Even if you do your best, if you look at our TikTok, our Facebook, all that, they're being exposed. You need to know what's going on their stuff. 2, some of these kids be in these group chats fighting for their life. Okay? And you don't even know that this is going on. You don't know your child is being bullied. You don't know your child is like trying to get attention in unnecessary ways. You don't know. They're fighting these battles that you don't know about because you're giving them unmonitored access to their phone. You can't. You have to know what's going on their phone. I don't care if it looks like an invasion of privacy. The streets is crazy nowadays, and you need to know what's going on. Unfiltered access is also a huge issue. Parents can't always filter what comes their child's way, but this is why it's important to ensure that your child is ready for a platform like TikTok, because at any given time, anything can pop up on your For You page, and now, once you hear it, you can't unhear it. So if kids know that these things exist and they become curious about them, well then sometimes instead of asking you, they're going to just go deeper into TikTok, more exposed to things that they maybe aren't ready for. And so the unfiltered access, though it is not something you can control all the time, you can control whether or not they have access to them. This is also a perfect time to say, some of y'all kids be downloading the apps when they get to school and then erasing them before they get home. So you think your child doesn't have access to this app, and they do. And sometimes children are just underdeveloped for the type of access that they have. Your 3rd grader should not be in a group chat. 3rd graders can barely handle one-on-one conversations. There's 5, 6, 10, 12 people in these group chats. They can't handle it. They don't know what to do with all of that interaction. And so it's all muddled up. Your 11-year-old is on TikTok, but there's a 13-year-old age limit for a reason, because they're not ready for the amount of access that they're having. Children are sometimes underdeveloped for the type of interactions that they're having on their device. And it's up to us to mitigate that.
Please go ahead and share your thought about what she said down in the comment section. Go ahead and share. I have a lot to say about kids, exposing kids to social media, kids having mobile devices. I have a lot to say. And I know you have a lot to say about these conversations. So go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think, okay? This got a couple of people responding to this because this video is relative news, so a lot of people have not stitched it. But let's go hear what people have to say about this conversation, and then I'll come back and share more of my thought. But I need you to go down and share your own thought.
You taught them at home, you can 100%.
In the video I'm stitching, she said between the ages of 9 and 12. So I'm going to tell you about the ages between 9 and 12. I'm not even going to tell you about teenage years, just 9 and 12. And at 9, I was about in 5th grade. I had a best friend. My best friend was already active with boys. You hear me? My best friend. And the only reason why I wasn't ripping, running, and lollygagging with her is because I had a strict mom. I wasn't outside. My mother had rules. I had a curfew. I had the same curfew until senior year. Let's talk about it. I wasn't allowed to be outside with everybody else. It's not a thing. It wasn't a thing for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I was able to do some things because I had friends and I slept over their houses, but those are friends I met at school. That's all I'm saying. That's at 9. I told you 5th grade, right? By the time we hit 12, girls were already being deflowered. And I was a late bloomer. I was confused because I wasn't really hanging out with them in the summertime. So when we came back to school, and that's what I found out, I was so confused on when we skipped chapters. I had no idea that we were already being active like that. I was late. It took me years, and years. Like, after. We're talking about 7th, 8th grade. Girls having full-blown storybooks, play-by-plays at 12. It starts at home. Restrict at home. Didn't we have YouTube back in the day? Remember, there was no restriction on YouTube? Do you remember 2 Girls, 1 Cup? Do you remember 1 Guy, 1 Cup? Back in the day, as a child, stop forgetting when you were a teenager. Stop forgetting when you were a child. That's one of the biggest problems that I see parents have on a constant basis. You all tend to forget what life was like when you were children. And then you have a hard time parenting your children because you're parenting them from a ignorant space as if you didn't experience their lifetime over. You're an adult now. You already went through that phase, so you already know what you're exposed to. Even if you're not doing something bad, somebody around you is. Somebody around you is. You cannot control what your kids learn in school. You can't. Who's lying to you? You can't. Even if your child has a really good friend and they're responsible, there's children that they talk to that they're probably not even friends with. They're just cool. There are discussions. There are rumors. There's gossip. The stories alone are exposing your children to things that they shouldn't know. The restriction at home is what's going to stop your children from being exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to, because we were overexposed. And the only reason why I'm not even going past 12... The only reason why I'm not going past 12 is because she didn't go past 12. But if you want to hear about my teenage stories, I got a book. And this is from somebody who had restrictions. I had a curfew, and I still was exposed.
That their peers at school have way more power than you do as a parent.
I completely agree with everything this woman just said. For 9-10 years, I worked with kids ages 5 through 17. And that's one of the biggest things I would tell parents. You cannot stop your kids from being exposed to things. You just can't. You got to think about it. They're in school. At the school, they got sports, extracurricular activities, at the school programs. They're with you maybe 3-4 hours out the day, because when you get home, it's time to finish whatever homework they got. It's time to eat, and it's time to get ready for bed. They're going to be exposed to these things. Teach them to be strong-minded. That way they can come to you, have these conversations. They don't have to go to the person they sit beside on the bus, their best friend. You can't stop it. I don't care if they're going to a public school or private school. Hell, the private school is probably worse than the public schools. but it's going to happen. Teach them to come to you, build that relationship to where your child doesn't have to fear coming to ask you questions. It's so, so, so important, especially in today's time. Like, build that relationship.
It's an interesting conversation. So I love to know your own thought about this conversation down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful as always. So I really like. Hold on, guys. I really like this conversation, and where like we like whether you like it or not. I know we talk about child-free content. We talk everything about women here and how to better ourselves, our life. And I know there are some of us here on this channel have kids. So yeah, I love to know your own input on this. How do you think that children can be monitored, can be controlled, things they are exposed to, so that they are not exposed to things beyond their age? How do you think that can be navigated? How that can be controlled? How that can be done? Do you think it's by being strict at home? Do you think it's by homeschooling? Do you think it's by not giving them a device? Do you think, what are your own thoughts? I love to know your own thought down in the comment section. So here's my own thought on the conversation is that, first off, I personally am of the opinion that age, 9 to 12, should not even have any form of mobile device to access any social media platform. The mom was talking like, oh, the kids should have access to to call them. There's this thing they call the touchlight phone here in Nigeria, where it's just it's not connected to the internet. It's just call and text. That's all. You can get your child that phone so that your child can call you and can text you for emergencies and all that, and that is good enough. And I know as much as you try to control those things, and you said, oh, your child should not have device that is connected to the internet, they still have friends that is going to expose them to certain things, and they're going to tell stories and all that. We all know what we are as kids, even though as kids we were not as they didn't expose us to things as the kids of today are being exposed to. So I get that part of it, but I also feel like taking that first restriction, like, oh, they know they don't have easy access to it, that is one of them. Secondly, I also feel like your relationship with your child is very, very important. I know that there's this thing, I know I don't have a child of my own, but hey, I've raised a couple of kids. Like I said, I'm a first daughter, and I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I have a lot of younger people around me in their 20s, in their 18s, and all that. I have them around me a lot for my nieces-in-law and all that. I feel like the relationship you have with a child really means a lot and shows if the child will be comfortable coming to talk to you and talk to you about certain things. So I feel like parents go to the dynamic. I'm going to talk about my nieces and my nieces-in-law. I'll say I'm that auntie that they come to tell me some of the things these kids comes to tell me. I'm just like, but I don't show it. I just like, okay, because I keep them in that place. Like, we've had that relationship where it is very comfortable. They know they can tell me anything, even though they know I'm going to scold them, I'm going to coach them on how to navigate all that. But they feel very comfortable letting me know so that I can give them the honest advice. Some of the kids that I have around me, some of the things they tell me, I'm just like, okay. Most of them are grown now; they're in their early 20s now. But when they were teenagers, the things I was hearing, their parents can't even get it out of them. Even their auntie, I'm talking about my nieces-in-law. Even their aunties they have can't get it out of them. And there was something I told one of my sister-in-law. I was like, some of the things I know, like you can't even stand it. So let this child be. But they usually feel like it's by being very strict. I don't believe in being very strict. I am a very strict person, but also I'm a very free person at the same time. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, I feel like in things like this, you have to meet a balance where you can get that child to that place where that child can come to you and talk to you and ask you the ridiculous things and story times that they've shared with their classmates and their peers. And I do agree that their peers has more influence towards them to a large extent because they don't have a good, because they don't have that type of relationship with you where they feel safe that they can come and ask mommy anything and mommy will not flip out on them or mommy will not overreact. I feel like I asked some of my nieces-in-law and my nieces, they said one of the reasons why I'm that person they come to talk to, they say that because even though I'm going to scold them, even though I'm going to like shout on them and like you're very stupid and curse them out on it, they still feel like I understand them and I try to get where they are coming from. And one of the ways I feel like I can relate to that is because when a child is talking to me or a younger person is talking to me, there's this question I always ask myself. What was I doing at that age? And I was a dubious child. I was a dubious child. I was that child that I take clothes to school, even though we wear uniform. After school, we're changing to our mufti and we're out in town. I was that child. So when a child or when a younger person comes to me and wants to talk to me, or they're getting close to me, or they're telling me something, I usually just try to calm my nerves down and say, you know what were you doing at this age? And don't just react from the instant of, oh, how dare you, and all that, even though I will still come from that place. But I usually I don't know how to explain. Maybe I feel like my nieces-in-law and my nieces, they should be in a better place to make you feel like how I'm able to make them feel that type of way. I don't know. I have one in the house. I don't know if I should call Naomi to come and talk. But yeah, I feel like I have that relationship with them. And I feel like that is what, as parents, I know the kids I deal with, they are grown, but they were also young initially. So I feel like that is one of the things that should be done. Have that great relationship with them so that they can come to you and ask you anything and so that you can give them the right information. Then next, I also want to touch on exposure to social media. A lot of parents, especially in our time, millennial mom and Gen Z mom, they feel like just giving your child an iPad to be on the internet just to distract them so that you can do other things, so that you have time for other things, so that you don't have to monitor them around the house. It's just to keep them quiet, just to keep them steady. Some of us feel like that is parenting, and I feel like no. I feel like as a parent, you should be that person that is all up in their business, checking everything they do, their search history, their conversation. And I feel like when you do this, don't let them know you do it. That's another thing. Because I feel like if you let them know you do it, as a dubious child that I was, they're going to find a way around it. Kids always find a way around to make them look like a perfect human being. And I feel like that's also another thing. Parents also always want their kids to come out perfect, ask the perfect question, say the perfect things, rather than let them be kids and just show themselves, show their card, and show what type of kids they are so that you can actually navigate them through life and limit their exposure to certain things. I feel like the age 9 to 12, it's really early, but also I growing up, when I was like 14, my friends I had in high school, they already had boyfriends at that age. I didn't have boyfriend until I was in year 1. I was like 16, 17. Not really a boyfriend. You know when you're just talking to a boy, I won't say boyfriend, but I got really at the age of 19 and all that. So, yeah, I feel like those are some of the things. Build a good relationship with them so that they can come to you and talk to you about anything. Let them be in a safe space with you so that they can literally come to you. Then always monitor what they do on social media. And I personally am of the opinion of not even homeschooling anyway. That's just me. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section. Love to know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section. How do you think that kids can be protected from all this? I personally, I don't believe in being strict anyway. I don't believe being 100% strict. It is, have a good balance. That's just my mom was very strict, but I still found my way around things. Okay, so go ahead and share your thoughts. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation. Give this video a thumbs up because that helps this channel and help me. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.